In a timeless realm, chapter chapter 2, I guess, yeah, 2. The sphere of images. Our deep despairs are also our unrealized triumphs, for it is then that the fabric of our potential wings strengthen beneath the cocoon of our self-deception. From our despair, truth emerges. The moment I relax and quit trying, my confusion ends. The picture now clear and precise, and without an effort, my attention becomes powerfully focused. I can now understand what was previously a confused jumble of nonsense. Trinai was right. Attempting to force understand had been counterproductive. Within the translucent sphere of pressure, I can see moving holographic images of an unbelievably ancient earth. With the images, a silent inner commentary explains some of what I see. This commentary is not spoken, but unfolds into my consciousness in what feels like little waves and ripples of directed knowing. Without an attempt at speaking and forming words in my immobile state, I project my thoughts to Trinai. Can you see what I'm seeing? I rather think so, comes her clear reply. Are you getting inner commentary with it? If you mean an inner understanding that seems to accompany it, yes. But it leaves my questions unanswered. I'm delighted that you are with me, I tell her. I'm very glad to be with you. Astonished, I see beings of energy that have formed, but non-physical matter as they drift in small groups over very strange earth, bright to the point of whiteness. The sun creates an atmosphere of illuminated brilliancy. Vegetation exists, but even this is lacking in substance. I learned that the ethereal beings are in an early stage of their evolution. They were yet in the fourth dimension, prior to taking on physicality, and they are human. Apparently, there are many stages to be passed through before the spirit of humanity is ready to express and dance physical matter. There are no spoken words, but I'm aware of thought and feeling between the beings as they gracefully make their way across a field of delicate pale blue vegetation. Occasionally, the beings pick fronds from plants to ingest for nourishment. So, look at that. Before, we had here blue vegetation because probably the beings that were here in mass ethereal state and form were from some galaxy that were blue itself. Maybe could be Uranus or Vega or many other constellation where it's blue. Okay, Arcturus, I'm not sure, but they were translucent, they were ethereal, they were not fully physical. Apparently, there are many stages to be passed through before the spirit of humanity is ready to express and dance physical matter. There are no spoken words, but I'm aware of thought and feeling between the beings as they gracefully make their way across a field of delicate pale blue vegetation. So occasionally the beings pick fronds from plants to ingest for nourishment. They do this by clasping the fronts to the front of their bodies, where they seem to be absorbed quickly. Beautiful, really amazing. Let's resume it before our ancestors, at least some of our ancestors, were translucent being, and they did uh, nourish themselves with blue vegetation. Maybe they were pale, okay, they were translucent, and they had a bluish hue in them because of the vegetation that they took in. And the sun were not the hot, scalding sun that we have today. Rather, it was kind colder than what we have now. The controllers or the invaders had one purpose, made not just our body, uh, our body in need of animal proteins, but also it caused our sun to be hotter than it was before. Okay, long time ago the sun wasn't the hotness we have it today. Although most of their nourishment comes from the sun, they are compelled to supplement it. I learned that this is part of their path to physicality. These ethereal beings have form, but they lack a clear definition. They aren't wispy or foggy, but undefined. Their thoughts register little more than the mildest curiosity about things around them, suggesting an almost passive nature. They all appear to be about the same size in slender 5-foot bodies that neither walk nor fly, but are somehow drifting. Their features are indistinct. They don't seem to have a real mouth, nose, eyes, or ears yet. Yet I get the impression that this will eventually appear as they evolve into more physical reality. Everything about the ethereal beings has a dreamlike quality, yet I'm aware of their attunement with nature and this pre-emergent human expression. I can see no animals, and apart from the delicate pale blue ferny-like vegetation, no other forms of nature. Also, I become aware that there are only very few of the ethereal beings. I get the impression that there's a little intellectual development in these beings, but there's a keen and undoubted intelligence. Everything fades, the translucent sphere going momentarily blank. Then all I can see is black darkness. As I watch, I learn that this phase of the sun is ending, and darkness prevails for a long, long time. Where the sun is during these longer eons, I have no idea. Trinai, did you see the race of ethereal beings? Yes, I did. They were very beautiful. And you got the inner dialogue and insight with it? Yes, but it was sketchy. My intuition tells me that this whole experience is basically for you and that I'm here as a support for a while. What do you mean for a while? I want you here. I feel a smile in her thoughts. This is your reality. I'm only here in a dreaming state. It all gets a bit vague now and then, like you often do it at home. My smile is on the inside. Thanks a lot. As the sphere again becomes clear, I see the images of a race of beings. The sphere again becomes clear. I see images of a race of beings who look as though they are unsure whether to be ethereal or physical. Their body seems to be a marriage of the ethereal to flesh and bone, resulting in a strange, translucent quality. They are obviously physical, yet they appear opaque and fragile. I can see a thin, lightweight bony structure covered in substance looking more like firm jelly than the flesh of today. Mm, to me, it sounds like in a state of cryogeny and plasma yet. Before a being is to reincarnate, they become in a state of plasmic cryogeny, but not like the sun is already physical. It's like plasma, plasmic. It's really like a jellyfish. The material, the components, it's just like that before they take form and then they are placed inside the womb, or could be an incubator in other plants until they finally come to physicality, become denser, like they feed off other bodies to become denser. So the above seems to be a marriage of the ethereal to flesh and bone, resulting in a strange translucent quality. They are obviously physical, yet they appear opaque and fragile. I can see a thin, lightweight bony structure covered in a substance looking more like firm jelly than the flesh of today. No, not on today. Is a mechanism from which every being is made in the other side, on the fourth dimension. But they are physical, tall and slender. They walk with fluid ease and a natural, unhuman grace. Natural, unhuman grace. Can you see this is on bees? I call silently. I feel the reproach and Trina's reply. Don't be so flippant. It is disrespectful. Did you ever see such natural and graceful elegancy? Elegancy? As I watched, I became aware of a relationship with nature quite unlike anything of today. I learned that some of these beings, both male and female, by singing certain songs of attunement and power, are able to cause a particular species of a tree to take on the shape of the singer's will. In this way, they grow their homes. I watch a small group of these gifted beings as they travel from one village to another, singing to be prepared and selected immature young trees. Oh, how beautiful. So again, I'm going to repeat. As I watch, I become aware of a relationship with nature quite unlike anything of today. I learned that some of these beings, both male and female, by singing certain songs of attunement and power, are able to cause a particular species of tree to take on the shape of the singer's will. In this way, they grow their homes. I watch a small group of these gifted beings as they travel from one village to another, singing to the prepared and selected immature young trees. How beautiful! It's odd, for although I am aware of both males and females, I cannot see any clear difference between the sexes. None of them wear any clothing, so if they have any genitals, they must be held within their bodies. They are not as sexy as you, I project playfully. There are no words, but I'm hit by an avalanche of strong, very Trinai-like disapproval. Hyena chuckle. The nature I see here is dominated by trees. Not primitive prehistoric trees, but species of leaf and flower, and incredible diversity. Just as these beings can sing a tree into growing into a large hot-sized bulbous shape for the people to live in, they are also able to sing other trees into growing limbs vaguely shaped as chairs, tables, and other unrecognizable items that may be furniture. You see how amazing it was before? Now our race are so primitive, and yet human think that they are so superior. The human think that they are so mighty and wonderful. And compared with these other beings that were here before you all, no, we aren't. We just aren't. They could sing to make their own furniture, to furnish their own heart. They use singing. And they sing to animals before they cut it and eat it. So that the animals wouldn't suffer the way they do today. No wonder we see people who loves to make home tree and tree house and live in the hut and the woods. I know that nowadays quite dangerous because the portals are opened and a lot of beings come in and out and come and disturb humans. Some would make humans mad or even do something that will make them sick, crazy, or whatever. So it's quite dangerous nowadays to live in the woods. Besides human itself, the danger of living there and if you are unharmed, I mean, if you are without weapons, then you can put yourself into danger. But if you in some other countries, if it's very safe, it's very nice, and you are able to, it would be your luck to live in such places. And to grow into a large, hot, sized, bulbous shape for the people to live in. They are also able to sing another trees into growing limbs vaguely shaped as chairs, tables, and other unrecognizable items that may be furniture. The trees they inhabit are always long-lived and alive. If a tree dies, the people living in it move out. Just imagine being able to sing your furniture into shape and form. People say that this is Hogwarts nowadays because humans are so dense and become so human became so artificial and superficial that they will say that these are all fairy tale, but only a child knows better. Just imagine being able to think of furniture shape and form my project. Maybe it's a long dormant possibility even for us. I think we have a lot of conflict and confusion to deal with first. I get the feeling that the purpose and clarity of these people are undiluted by personal problems or everyday affairs. I say, yeah, to imagine the metrics, they already have been, these people are in trains, they have been already, they got into spell. They are into spell. I don't think these people have any such thing as personal problems, Trinai replies. I'm puzzled by her remark, but my attention is on this sphere. I'm able to empathize with the respect these people feel for each other and for nature. Their whole life is a commitment to nature. Everything they wear, everything they eat and need comes from their almost symbiotic relationship with the trees. And these two are human beings. Mhm. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Exactly the one I film in there on the park. They are trees and at the same time they are men. A man tree. Their whole life is a commitment to nature. Everything they wear, everything they eat and need comes from the almost symbiotic relationship with the trees. And these two are human beings. The silent inner commentary to gives no indication of time's values for what I'm seeing. I get the feeling that rather than predating or present time, what I'm seeing coexists with us in a different frame of infinite reality. My camera are able to catch all the CPX. My miserable ordinary camera from phone. They'll kill what I caught on November 2022 and one rainy night. On the right here, it was raining there. Looks like a woman. I'm not sure whether it's a woman or something else, but definitely not a human. Because it was too late already. The tree-like creature walks here, and then he take out something like a weapon or his hand. I don't know what was that. Wait, I think in 03035. Now what is it here? It's a creature and they move around. him here too. Yeah. When you look very close, it's something like a spike thing. Like I don't know what this is. A hand this or a weapon. I really don't know what's that. And then he hides inside the other tree. Another one moving here. There will be a giant being there somewhere. White color. Another one moving here. Another plant. And the tree moving here. One entity here. There another entity caught here. They're here. I guess so. One of those things are building. The three dude walking again here. Okay. Somewhere here. They're here. A lot of trees walking here. There will be a giant man here also. I think there are 3 men. Another 3 here walking. Now the lamp moves. There she walks towards me. It's not me who's moving, it is the lamp. It moved several times in all the time that I went there. Sometimes I would stop. I would say I will not move. And then I stop. I will become hysteric. And then I ask it to move and it will move. Now it stopped. Because the entity make it move. This is the first dimension where things materialize and take shape. An abstract object moves. Maybe it will move again, I don't know. Oh, it will move another videos. There's another 3 bean will move again. Walk here on top. There, here. Yeah, yeah. Then it hides. This one is 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Again, they're going to move again. Wait a minute. There. Moving. If other people come here, it's unlikely that they will move. They don't move with just anybody, you know. They're here, the giant appearing here. Wait a minute. The giant. See, here is a giant. Sometimes they walk just past me like this. They walk. Sometimes there's a lot of them moving at the same time. And sometimes a very big chunky one walk past me. Just naturally, they guide another one. Suddenly the youngest one, the oldest one guide the youngest one. That's nature. There he comes again. See. And there's a lot of crazy things stuff here happen in the first dimension at night. There he's still moving there. So they must be very comfortable with you if they want to manifest themselves. They need to be very comfortable with you know, and trust you. Of course, they shouldn't trust me because I exposed them, but I told them already that they need not be afraid because everybody should know already about the other world and the things need to be exposed. It's at least in this time. We should not let people in the dark regarding the other parallel world in which we make part of it and that we don't see it. So I tell them not to be afraid and just show up. It's okay. Imagine I tell them not to be afraid. Sometimes there's reptilian also here on the trees. They like to stay on trees. They are green color. And they also make part of nature. And here's the sphere. Sometime we ever saw the sphere. Since I was 7 years old, I have been seeing them with my sisters. So wherever there is those spheres around, there are beings or spirit from the fourth dimension. Sometimes those spheres contain a being, then they materialize later on. The sphere contain a reality. So this is what this channel is all about. It's about exposing the other world. Okay, and expose also some part of the reality that people is not aware of. Unfortunately, it's a wake up me call channel. See here the spheres. That's the same sphere that Michael J. Rowe deserved to see. Only that he was in dreamy state, right? In uh, lucid dreams state. And here, no, here is real through the camera. That's why I had the feeling and the intuition to going there. There's other places here, but I'm not going there because I I don't have the condition to go very far away for many reasons. Not because I'm afraid. I'm not. It's for other reasons that I don't go there. There's fears here. So there's other places is very, very haunted here, but I want to go there because of some reasons. Not because I'm afraid, I'm not, but my condition are so good. So I come here. Lately I've not been here because I'm not psychologically well. I don't feel like, but I will go maybe next week I will go. I'll pay them a visit again. Maybe they are missing me. And sometimes they are missing me. There's a girl there who say, don't go, or you're going to die, or don't go. Or there's one that's very fierce, say, go away. But the girl say, don't go, stay, or come and play with me. Or there's a little boy say, I like you, stay with me. Okay, there's others, many others who have more needed, more vivid image of these beings. Back to the narrative. Just imagine being able to sing your phonage into shape and form I project. Maybe it's a long dormant possibility even for us. I think we have a lot of conflict and confusion to deal with first. I get the feeling that the purpose and clarity of these people are undiluted by personal problems or everyday affairs, I say. I don't think these people have any such thing as personal problems. Trinai replies, correct. Trinai was wise. I'm puzzled by her remark, but my attention is on the sphere. I'm able to empathize with the respect these people feel for each other and for nature. Their whole life is a commitment to nature. Like me, everything they wear, everything they eat and need comes from their almost symbiotic relationship with the trees. And these two are human beings. The silent inner commentary gives no indication of time values for what I'm seeing. I get the feeling that rather than predating our present time, what I'm seeing coexists with us in a different frame of an infinite reality, correct? Fourth dimension parallel world. I am unclear about this. Although I live near time structure is based on a concept of beginnings and endings, infinity must surely be based on a greater holistic reality of timelessness. Timelessness. As a scene after a scene unfolds, I become more relaxed within myself, as opposed to compelled culminancy, and I'm more able to empathize with these beings. They surprise me, for they are without desire, without needs, even without real joy or laughter. Maybe they are aliens. Aliens are like that. There is a bliss in them the way they are, but no enthusiasm or passion. I perceive that their more ethereal, less physical reality reflects an overall lack of individual drive or desire to achieve. They need not to. It occurs to me what Trinai meant by her last remark. You mean that these people have a complete lack of any individuality, don't you? I asked her. How incongruous that collectively they seem to have so much, and yet at the same time to have so little personally they don't need that. She's silent for some moments. Yes, I noticed the lack of individuality at once. At least they don't have our modern day hang-ups, she reflects. But I agree, it seems such an idyllic way to live, in harmony with nature. Yet many of our present qualities are missing. What a different perspective the offers, I muse. No matter how misunderstood or misguided our personal powers may be, within our passion and drive to challenge, to struggle against the odds, and to overcome, we hold the potential as individuals to experience self as one with the all. To do this, I suspect that we need all the qualities we presently have. Perhaps these peoples experience themselves as one with the all, Trinai suggests. As a human collective, maybe, but it's impossible as individuals without individuality. Maybe even honesty has many levels of human expression. I feel admiration and love for the ethereal, physical people that I am witnessing, and I am made aware that their consciousness is with humanity today. All the qualities that they have brought into creation reside within our present soul awareness. That's me. With this realization, the sphere momentarily goes blank. Once again, it is opaque, and I can only wonder at what this means. Is this a past civilization that has ended? Somehow, I think not. No, they still exist in parallel continuum time. Gradually, the sphere again takes on new life and vitality. Those semi-physical beings in the gentle touch of nature have gone. I may now look at a scene dominated by rocks and desert, with oceans of distant grass waving in the breeze. I silently wonder if this is the same place at another time. As I ponder this, I get the feeling that I'm seeing yet another frame in an infinite reality. I'm sure that these frames are linked. This is different, I project to Trinai. No reply. Another race of beings throngs the area as they walk with a casual ease. I learned that this was a peaceful race, but whereas the earlier beings had walked with nature and the trees, these people walk with minerals and water in a way that I cannot comprehend. They use water to mine the land, take it deep into the ground, From the commentary, I learned that some of our vast subterranean caves of today are not the random chains of aeons of oceans and rivers cutting them out as we believe, but the deliberate act of another human race unrecorded in our history. I learned that each of the eras I'm watching predates our prehistoric period by a vast span of time as we measure it. Long, long before the beginning of our prehistoric period, there were intelligent human beings evolving and flourishing on our planet Earth. I'm confused, for it seems certain that the frames of reality I'm witnessing interlink the story of Earth in the vast, immeasurable overall frame of timelessness. The commentary, however, gives me no clarity on this apparent paradox. Trinai, are you still with me? Yes, my darling. Do you realize that everything we are seeing of the past is somehow held in the present? Yes, but I'm not sure what we need attempt to understand it. Better to go with the flow of it. I inner smile my agreement. The beings and the image are short, sturdy, and are fully physical. However, in a similar way to both the early ethereal and semi-physical races, all the mature adults conform in size, weight, and even looks. Again, the unmistakable imprint of personal individuality is absent. Again, the unmistakable imprint of personal individuality is absent, mean that they work in group, whereas the semi-physical beings had a milky white translucency which was predated them and were hairless. These people are black skinned with a definite tan pigmentation and have black frizzy hair. Perhaps that's because the semi-physical people lived under a sky of almost permanent cloud, while these mineral and water workers live under an intense sun. I think by this time the Anunnakis were around here. Oh, yeah. Yes, why not? Why? Why haven't I think of this before? They are the Aigigi. They are talking about the Aigigi, and they lie when they say the Aigigis were white. No, they were black. I knew it a long time ago. Hairy, uh, fuzzy hair, frizzy hair, and dark skinned. They are the Aigigi, and this coincides with the time of the invasion when the controllers came in. So I'm going repeat again. Whereas the semi-physical beings, which ones predated this dark one, had a milky white translucency, which were one of the primordial here on Earth, and were hairless. These people are black-skinned with a definite tan pigmentation. Those are the IgGs that were brought from Nibiru by the Anunnakis and have black, frizzy hair. Perhaps that's because the semi-physical people lived under a sky of almost permanent cloud. The time was not hot. That's why they were white-skinned. Then when the Anunnaki came in, they somehow changed the sun temperature to almost like artificial one, and it become hotter, become like a nuclear station, nuclear plant, something like that. It becomes no more sun, becomes like a reactor. So while this mineral and water works, perhaps that's because of the semi-physical people live under the sky for most permanent cloud, while this mineral and water worker live under intense sun. Although it defies logic, the sun is far hotter and more intense than our sun of today. I don't want it to return. Please don't bring the sun here. The ability of these beams, if minerals, is all but supernatural. I watch, of course, they were from Nibiru. I watch as a molten liquid mineral is propelled under tremendous pressure from a spout where it points toward the sky as the jet of molten liquid shoots in a thin, continuous stream up into the air. It is met at a calculated angle by an equal jet of water. Clouds of steam burst forth as the two liquids meet, but as they fall to earth, the mineral is now formed into flat, paper-thin platelets. For some unfathomable reason, the platelets don't appear to quite touch the earth, drifting just above the ground in heaps, as though they were large silver snowflakes. All that remains of the water is a fine misty spray. For most of it is converted into steam on contact with the molten mineral. As before, everything and everybody conforms to a certain rhythm and style. The dynamic of our present individuality is again missing. The phenomenon persists, I say. Even in these very human looking people, there is not a real individuality. I agree. It's even more apparent in these people. Trinai replies. Only when you witness his absence do you realize how tangible and potent the power of human individuality really is. And it's odd that there are no children or aged people. How's that possible? Of course, they are workers. They were especially for work, specifically for that, for mining, for the Anunnaks. Beats me. I gaze at a technology that's both beyond and before anything in our present time. Not so much better, but based on totally different principles. Whereas I suspect that force is the dominating factor in today's technology, this prehistoric human race uses a natural harmonic in a completely different way from the earlier race. These people also combine with the nature to draw forth the things they need for their growth and survival. And yet, these people all seem to be without any real needs or desires. I bet if I asked these people why they do what they do, they would not even comprehend the question and say, yes, they seem to do what they do simply because this is what they do. It is strange that their holy energy conveys this like the word is alive of a defined purpose so clearly. In Kuali, I don't think that they would understand the concept of survival. Even as we briefly comment on what we see, the scene continues to unfold because of the intense heat. The dwellings of these beings are deep underground, covered by water with a superb accuracy. This is not a matter of simply gouging out the rock with pressured water and then leaving in what results. Far from it. They know the structure, nature, and formation of solid rock to a degree that far exceeds our present understanding of the structure of a man-manufactured brick. When the water is introduced into rock, it tunnels and excavates into the exact size and dimensions that had been calculated, projected. This may be a simple construct or one of amazing complexity. To perform this incredible feat, a group of the beings enters a tranceable state, trance-like state, becoming the directive nexus and the merging consciousness of humans, rock, and water. I could make a fortune if I could learn how to control water like that. Michael, don't be so frivolous. Some of the underground caverns are of such immense proportion that they can house a whole city of people within this cavity by the architectural expertise of humans. The same is the in the water are many smaller structures that house small groups. And within all this, the breathtaking flare of curves, archway, and sweeping grace must surely have been given birth again in our cathedrals of today. Once more, the sphere goes blank for a few moments, and then I witness an age of wind gripping our planet, lasting for what seems an eternity. An ending wind of a ferocity that scores and levels mountains. I witness what appears as the ending of this age, and then the birth of a new life. I am deeply puzzled by this. More powerfully than ever, I get a sense of timelessness, yet what I'm seeing suggests the end of an age. I share my speculation with Trinai. How can you have timelessness alongside beginnings and endings? I ask. It just isn't possible, surely. I think I know what you mean, but perhaps you are too preoccupied with time and timelessness. And who knows, conceivably it may be possible. It occurs to me that perhaps both realities are happening. Perhaps we are witnessing different root races in the development of humanity that belong in our far distant linear past, yet at the same time are also an ongoing part of human development in other frames of a greater infinite reality. Talk about pondering the unponderable. I think I'll call it mystery and leave it alone. I say, watching those spheres, it continues to change. I guess that we are having it, we are getting it all at the same time. Um, we are having all this timeline frame at the same time right now. We are having icy age. We are having also subterranean people in the walks. We are having hot sun. We are having it all right now in this age. Talk about pondering the imponderable. I think I call it mystery. Again, in era prior to a prehistoric age. Now is now going back to the icy age, which did not precede, but it is once post the maybe the Bronze Age, the Minor Age. So after that came the Ice Age. Again, prior to a prehistoric age, another race of humanity is to be seen. This time the sun is weak, the climate cold. I cannot see any oceans, but the rivers of a great width are, are as prolific on the land as are the lines on a human hand. What seems odd is that most of the rivers run in uneven parallels to one another, seldom crossing or intersecting. Many of the rivers are of solid ice, while the others flow with a slow, sluggish power. I now watch a nomadic race of people as they wander the earth. Of average height, their skin is a yellowish color, their hair black and very long. Could it be the Asian people now we are talking about? I now watch an American race of people as they wander the earth. Of average height, their skin is a yellowish color, their hair black and very long. They are slender, yet the long stringy ropes of muscle on their arms and legs give evidence to immense stamina. These people are very well adapted to their lifestyle. Although their limbs are bare, their bodies are well wrapped. but I'm certain that they are physically male and female in the manner of our present human race. Despite clothing, the sexual differences are obvious as they are today. Also, for the first time, I can see young children, adolescents, and the elderly East Asian people. The same as the so-called Native American are also Asian, okay? I know, okay, an American race of people, they want the very hide their skin is yellowish color. Not all of them are yellow. Some are brown, some are light brown, some are reddish, some are very bulky, some um, very skinned. They are slender, yet these people are very well adapted to their lifestyle. Although their limbs are bare, their body, so they have children, they have elderly, and they have the adults. Happy now? I ask. The Holy Family is here. It seems to suggest that those previous people were somehow assimilating to human physicality without being sexual or reproducing their way. And this comes after the Anunnaki, hey? They were produced, they brought in by the Anunnaks. The others, no, the ones who were translucent, pale skinned, and the dark, shorty, hairy, fuzzy haired one, no. But those ones were totally brought by the Anunnaks. The Holy Family is here, so that those previous people are somehow assimilating to human physicality without being sexual, which is beautiful. Non-sexual, asexual is beautiful, wonderful, or reproduce in their way. You could be right. I don't know how that's possible, but it makes sense. Maybe they have to develop sexuality before individuality can come into expression. Why should I? Why should they develop sexuality before individuality come into expression? That's rubbish. I wouldn't say these races are highly developed individuality. They are not individual. They are hive-minded as well. They are very much hive-minded. Seldom these people have individual and independent thinking. They think as a hive mind as well. Um, I wouldn't say the series has highly developed individuality, but it's definitely evident in 390 plus. Not much. The vegetation is mostly coarse grass and scrub, while the similarly less vast plains between the rivers writtle beneath the touch of a ceaseless wind that scours the land. But where was it? Europe? Americas? Asia? Could be Asian, Japan or Korea. China, Mongolia and China, yeah. Mongolia and China. Of course, Mongolia and China. China, which was Japan and Korea as well. Was all together. Japan, China, Korea, all together in Mongolia. While the seemingly vast plain between the river is beneath the touch of a ceaseless wind that scores the land, animals are visible everywhere, but I can see no birds. Defy any logic. All the animals I can see are of a single species, like a very large cavi or guinea pig, which could be the capybara, approximately of approximately the same size as the present-day tallest capybaras that live by the rivers of tropical South Americas. These tame and docile animals are used to carry packs, to pull sleds, and to feed and clothe the people. Poor thing. So these people are reptilian because they start to eat animals, so they are the reptilian and next Dracos. So poor thing, you see that the previous race didn't eat, right? Didn't eat much on the plant and live by the the nourishment from the sun, right? Those one, no, they need what? Meat. So that's mean these ones of the hybrids of the former hybrids of the manipulation of the former beings who were already here on Earth. Bingo! Finally, I got it. I need to find out the truth. I need it. I have been searching for eons for nothing. Since the 70s, I've been searching. So, even scientists doesn't know. So, let me ponder. They changed the former beings, and they didn't change the former being. They make another race more uh, tangible and denser. Okay, so what they did was they bring in their own people, and they're the one the eat meat. They become the meat eaters, and they place them in the Americas. They take away the primordial people from the Americas, which was the pale skin, because I have searched it before and I know it. And the Americas over there to Europe, plain all over, were these beings of pale skin beings. Most of them have no hair. They were bald head. They were tall and slender and a very, very, pretty much very white, pale white. And they were taken away from there, and these people were put there. Okay, I cannot say how long it was, but it was not very long time ago. So even these tame docile animals are said to carry packs, to pull sleds, and to feed and clothe those people. Even the wild cave-like animals are without any fear, calmly ignoring the wandering nomads as they browse on the plains grass and scrub. Without the animals, the nomads could not exist. The nomad's attitude toward their own animals is almost sacred in its concern and attention, despite the fact that the animals do all the pulling and heavy carrying. Poor thing, they are slavishly catered to by the wanderers. I watch in astonishment as an animal is taken for food. Once separate from the others, two of the men wash it in what is clearly a ritual of chant and prayer. Next, two human approach the animal, and the men depart. Sitting next to the calm creature, they croon to it. Sweet and low, affected by the crooning, I feel that a door is opening into some other dimension. Such the power and intensity it evokes. Maybe it does, for suddenly the animal rolls over dead. They put a spell on the animals and then the soul comes out, and it's when they cut the animals. Nowadays what they do, they just cut anyhow, inflicting all the pain possible on this poor creature. I'm affected by what I see, affected by the power of the connection between the human and the animal. This is not a betrayal, but a true exchange of energy. There is emotion in my words as I convey this to Trinai. The harmonized nature in the animal so that all needs are met in perfect synchronicity. Today we exploit for profit, with little real concern for the animals. Yeah, you all enjoy seeing the animals suffering. It's a rush of adrenaline for you all to see the animals suffer before they give the last breath. Mentally shrugging my agreement with her, I learned that the animals willingly surrender their life for the people as they are sung back to spirit. Like the previous races, these peoples express a deep reverence for nature. Again, the change. No wind to push the land this time, but ice, unre- unrelenting, rock-shattering glaciers of ice. For the first time, I'm grateful that I cannot run or feel real fear. In my normal reality, I would desperately run from the scene that unfolds before me. Oh, now uh, After the other, this nomadic, this let's say nomadic people, now we have the giant that comes after them. For the first time, I'm grateful that I cannot run or feel the real fear. So there's no wind to push the land this time, but ice. So there's the icy age, the other icy age. Unrelenting rocks, shattering grasses of ice. I have DNA from those people, the icy age, so it's a giant. For the first time, I'm grateful that I cannot run or feel real fear. In my normal reality, I would desperately run from the scene that unfolds before me. I see a seed of clay, yet it's built on a prodigious scale. I get the impression that I am watching something from a horror film, for the race of soldiers walking file through the seat leaves me chilled and frightened. Each man is about 12 feet tall, with a corresponding width to his shoulders and depth of chest. They are giants, and they too are human. I feel an inner shudder pass through me. The brutality of the soldier is so palpable that I try to shrink into invisibility. Oh my gosh. They are no necks, okay? They are no necks. Ooh. So, but not all are bad. Don't worry about them. Not all are bad. There's a very nice giants as well. Not all is bad. So they are giants and they too are human. I feel an inner shudder pass through me. The brutality of those soldiers is so potent, those soldiers, not the common giant, but the soldiers. That I try to shrink into visibility. Shocked, I project my thoughts to deny. My God, what do you think of this? Silent sea. Trinai, can you hear me? Silent sea. The buildings that line the streets are so large that even the most squalid are built into the proportions of our churches and museums. I realize that this is a slum area, for no matter how foreign it appears, the signs of poverty are universal. Way out in front of the soldiers, people scatter, running for cover and shout in harsh guttural voices. Most of these people are smaller in stature, but even so, they are all over 9 feet tall. Overwhelmed, everything is fear. Yeah, they found their skeleton all over the earth. There are their skeleton. They have been here, but not all were bad, but they could be really ruthless, very ruthless race of being. But he don't say here how they look like they're very black, white, brown, or all mixed. I think all mixed. I feel so powerful because there's giant in all races in Africa, Europe, um, among Asian, everywhere there's giant, so they were everywhere. I feel so powerful that I can feel it emanate from the image that I'm compelled to watch. I learned from the inner commentary that the soldiers wear a type of armor that's made from a metal-like substance, lightweight and flexible. It gleams in the sunlight, yet its reflection is fear. The soldiers all have a dark there. The soldiers all have a dark tan complexion. Anunnaks. They are dark. They are not white. Some clown, some joker put them as white. They are not white. They are black. But can they become white? Yes, because they steal DNA from other races. Okay? You see that? They are tanned. Tanned. Like the Roman soldier, they say, oh, they were that. No, they were not, but they were 10 people. So, the soldier all have dark tan complex, dark tan, not bronze, dark tan complexion. Their features harsh, arrogant, and without any trace of compassion. Suddenly, a large rock comes hurtling from a huge window, strike one of the soldiers in the face. Even as he falls, a projectile like a large flat plate comes spinning from another window, its razor edge nearly severing the neck of another soldier. Without a glance at their fallen comrades, the soldiers rush into the building, each drawing a massive broadsword from a huge flat sheet striped to his back. Each vast sword is about 5 feet long and about half that in width in diameter. So each vast sword is about 5 feet long and about half in uh, in width. Used as both shield and sword in the dazzling display of power and skill, the soldiers deflect a few more missiles and waded flashing bloody blades into the screaming people pouring out of all the neighboring doorways. A sense of a feeling of shock as though such an attack on the soldiers almost unheard of. What happens next, I will never know. For thankfully the image blurs and changes, yet it remains with the giants. Gently I try to communicate with Trinai. Did you, did you see all that? Are you still with me? Silence. I can now see a pastoral scene, reasonably peaceful, yet the domination and control of the many by a few is obvious. A few of the soldier types are overseen are the pale-skinned giants who, the slaves. Yeah, the slaves. The Anunnakis were the dark-tanned one, okay? And they take the pale-skinned giants to be their slave, okay? The pale-skinned giant was their slave. And some were sent inside the subterranean place and then buried there. So not everything is as they say. There's a lot of lie. That's why I must make my own research. Alright? I must make my own research. I don't believe in many things people say. I really don't. And the ones I see here are all dark. The one I see here on I take the camera, I film with the camera, the help of the camera. The giants are all dark. And yes, they can be very intimidating. They do intimidate me, but I'm not afraid of them for some reason. I'm not afraid. I'm short, but I'm not afraid. And there's an old giant there. He's very boring, old man. I call him old man. When I call him old man, he gets so angry. And he started talking a guttural voice. I call him old boring. What a old boring mean? So, let's continue. I just want to be demystify the mystery. I must unravel the mystery and it's for that I'm here for in this earth. Enough of lies. So each of us so pour out. So what happened next, never know, for thankfully the image blurs and change. So I can now see a pastoral scene reasonably peaceful, yet the domination and control of the men by few is obvious. A few of the soldier types are overseeing other pale-skinned giants as they walk on a farm. You see? Those pale-skinned, the white ones were the slave of the tanned ones. have always been like this, but they have invested in thwarted all the truth. They have invented the truth. They have lied, lies. All is about the lies when we read the history. Looking vaguely like a cross between a reptile and a horse, a pulling a cleverly designed prop-like implement through the soil. That mean is the dinosaurs that they use it. A few of the soldier types always seen other pale skinned giants. They walk on a farm. Two huge animals, which are dinosaurs. Okay. As the pale giants walk for the dark skinned one who are the Anunnaks, and they use a dinosaur as a um, mode of transport. Looking back like a cross between a reptile and a horse, which are a dinosaur, are pulling a cleverly designed prop-like implement through the soil. It rips the soil with ease, while others of the same strange animal combination are being used to fell trees and clear the soil of its natural vegetation. Could it be the age of Atlantis? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. The trees are no larger than the trees of today, nor the vegetation more abundant. Insects swarm everywhere, far more than is natural or normal today, while animals of a strange warm-blooded reptilian nature, which are dinosaurs, saurians, see, and who brought them here? The Dracos, when they invaded here. Blooded reptilians seem to be the dominant animal form. Again, I see no birds. But they come from the best. How come there's no bird? Why they haven't introduced birds yet? All traces of a harmonious relationship with nature are gone. I learned it a shock that the old reptile slash horse combination is a result of genetic manipulation done by Nunix. The animal pulling the plough is huge and very powerful, and it seems to be extremely cunning, poor thing. I learned that these animals constantly try to kill their handlers, but to little avail, poor things. One of the reasons for this extremely aggressive behavior is that they live in constant pain. Oh no, I knew. These animals are created by the giants in laboratories. And such is the divergence from nature that the creatures pay a price in pain. Pain is their companion from their manipulated birth to their eventual death. Poor thing. My heart is broken here. I wish that I could get some comment from Trinai. Is she still with me or has she woken up? She's hiding. Her higher self is hiding from the giant. Trinai, are you with me? Can you see the giants? Silence. Slightly bothered by hearing nothing from Trinai, I watch as a scene after scene in the life of the giants gives me an overall picture of their horrendous culture in a time that far predates our prehistoric era and yet somehow continues to coexist with now. Humanity is struggling to become human. The cruelty is not limited to the dark soldier race. It's not only the 70s. Imagine now, he was talking this in the 70s. Imagine now, as I talk 2024, 21st century. Imagine now. I have seen them there on the garden, the mysterious garden there. They are dark. They look like this ape here. It's dark, but taller than this one. It's slender than this one. Like this one. like this one. This one is a squash. They look a bit like this one, but a bit different. Look like a monk. And they still exist in parallel universe. They are not gone. Mm-mm. So the giants is true. When I was a little girl, I used to watch The Land of Giants and Lost in Space. Those movies, American movies, North American movies, was from the 50s, I guess, because it was black and white, not color, not colored. But I was a little girl, watched this in the 70s, Lost in Space and Land of Giants. I watched all those giants, and then I became so impressed, so like I was so interested and fascinated with all this history that I wanted to find out more. I was a little girl, I was about 6 years old. So, but cosmic exists even now, humanity struggles to become human. The cruelty is not limited to the dark soldier race. For the persecuted, the pale giants deal with one another in a manner of careless brutality. The pale giant was very evil with one another. But the dark one enslaved them and punished them in their avenge on their own people. Until now, you see, what has changed? Nothing. The men treat women appealingly, and they in turn are harsh and intolerant with their children. Haven't changed. No children are ever born from an act of love. They are the offspring of the couples of lust and sexual domination or even rape. What has changed? Nothing. Our modern day animals show a far greater regard for their offspring and family than this depraved race of giants. Not only giants, now, don't talk about giants. Talk about now. They are short and still retarded. I see no evidence of any machines or indeed of anything that remotely resembles an engine. The metal-like substance of the soldiers' uniforms and weapons is used in many other ways, from building their complicated implements to various forms of housing. It is also used as a form of currency. This substance comes from the hide of an extraordinary flat, ugly reptilian creature. Poor thing. Oh, the substance comes from the hide of an extraordinary flat, ugly reptilian Draco creature, rather like a scaly carpet with short, stubbly legs. These creatures are genetically bred to produce various sized, tough, metal-like scales, which they constantly shed and regrow. The giant exploit these animals in a shocking way, with a total disregard for the creature that they have created. Ownership of such reptilian beasts is strictly controlled. Stupid Satans. So the substance comes from the hide of extraordinary. I'm gonna repeat, okay? I see no evidence of any machines or indeed of anything that remotely resembles an engine. The metal-like substance of the soldiers' uniforms and a weapon is used in many other ways, from building their complicated implements to various forms of housing. It is also used as a form of currency. The substance comes from the hide of an extraordinary, flat, ugly reptilian creature, rather like a scaly carpet with short, stubbly legs. These creatures, I saw already the camera other side there. They are very flat and square, and they have stubbly legs, and they look like a machine. I have caught already. These creatures are genetically bred to produce various sized tough metal-like scales, which they constantly shed and regrow. The giant exploit these animals in a shocking way, with a total disregard for the creatures that they have created. These monsters are devils. Ownership of some reptilian beasts is strictly controlled, so I scolded them there. With a high level, they get very angry if you mean intimidate me. I don't care. If a highly advised genetic science-based empowering corruptive manipulation, this giant race unwittingly creates its own doom. Spawned from their own depraved skills, the dominant giants for long. Oh my God! I have to go out. There's a cat making all those things. So, from building their complicated implements to various forms of housing, it, it is also used as a form of currency. The substance comes from the hide of an extraordinary flat, ugly reptilian creature, a dinosaur, rather like a scaly carpet, its short, stubby legs. These creatures are genetically bred to produce various sized tough metal-like scales, which they constantly shed and regrow. The giants exploit these animals in a shocking way with a total disregard for the creatures that they have created. Ownership of such reptilian beasts is strictly controlled. With a highly advanced genetic science based in empowering corruptive manipulation, this giant race unwittingly creates its own doom, spawned from their own depraved skills. The dominant giants for a long time have cloned and and gene explicit ever bigger versions of themselves. They are no next until finally a killer virus is accidentally created. A killer bug has finally created. What has changed? Nothing. Giant here could also mean many other things. Giants, those who are in power, etc. What has changed? Nothing. I watch as with devastating speed the bug sweeps through the race of giants, causing a rapid and fatal degeneration of the brain. Within 36 hours of contracting the bug, the giants die, totally senile. At first, the victims are brutally and swiftly dispatched in an attempt to stop the epidemic. See how they do until now. But all efforts to stop the bug fail. Within a few months, every one of the giant beings is dead. This barbaric civilization of over 300 million giants, which had covered one third of the land mass of Earth, is no more. They are still here in parallel world in some in a very minuscule amount, which I think some have has died already, but they are still shorter. They are version shorter than the original one, but there's still the genes here, but it's not about the same. It's shorter than them. I try again. Trini, Trini, what do you want? Why are you shouting? I've been calling you over and over. What happened? Where have you been? Did you see the giants? A long pause. I think I lost it for a bit. Everything went obscure for a while. I vaguely recall something about giants, but I can't make any sense of it. I think my dream state may have wandered, of course. Boy, I'll say it did. I've been watching a race of giants kill one another. As though that wasn't enough, they tried to genetically manipulate and dominate nature, and they succeeded for a while. They accidentally created a bug that killed every one of them. Wow, heavy stuff! Well, I'm glad I missed it. Yes, maybe we're not meant to see it. Certainly not something you need to correct. They didn't want her to see it. I reflect back on the giants, and yet again the paradox persists. As though a niche I cannot quite reach, a Nina knowing suggests that in some other frame of reality, the race of giants continues. Correct. As I said, it continues. In parallel world, in parallel reality, they are still there. Um, I held it in the intimacy of it now. How this can be so, I have no idea. No wonder they try to hide all the evidences, right? They try to hide all the evidence. I feel stunned by their culture. Part of me rages at the senseless, barbaric cruelty of the giants, rejoicing in their rapid demise. Yet, part of me weeps for the potential that these huge beings might have developed. I continually watch as the nature of this time goes through adaptation and change. Within the midst of the giants, the carnivore, reptile, horse beasts quickly become dominant, the dinosaurs. Yet, as the images leap forward in jumps of a century at a time, I see that these also soon die out. Yeah, they were extinct sent to the interior, to Agartha, the interior of the earth. They are still there, the dinosaur. They are genetically created beings, creatures in labs. A mixture of giant anaconda, fit, uh, phyton with horses. For long age, I see jumps of a century. I see that they will soon die out, a victim of their own implacable nature. For long ages, the nature of yes develops and thrives, creating many strange and gigantic warm-blooded reptilian forms, until once again change sweeps the planet. The exchange that takes place this time is strange. Thus, these species were created in labs. Okay, it's not natural because our God. I don't think that cosmos will create this. Something else create beings that resembled them, or even beings who are shadow beings created them, and after that take their own form. They create these beings and then they shapeshift into them. So the S changed again. There's a lot of upheaval on that. Once more, the exchange that takes place this time is strange. Darkness grips the planet while the land seems to turn itself inside out. The upheavals are somehow orderly, as though something is being obliterated deliberately, of course, on purpose. I sense that the spirit of the land needs to bury all evidence of the abominations that have lived and for a while thrived on the earth. I sense a feeling of shame, but all this may well be a project of my own emotions. During the aeons of darkening sea, the planet must have tilted, for when I see it again, it is somehow familiar, as though it is the earth I know. I try to twist around to find Trinai, but still I am unable to move. Did you see the demise of the genetically bred reptilian creatures? I asked. No, all I saw was tremendous earthy changes. I'm quite certain that one's not meant to see the era of giants and what they produced or created. As I stare at this sphere of images, the silent inner commentary of direct knowing informs me that I will now see our present human race. Filled to the brim, I am to be given space to digest what I have witnessed. Trinai, do you realize that with the exception of the giants, the one factor that had been expressed continually through all of the early human races is their love and reverence for nature? Nature was truly their spirit mother. I have noticed that apart from the giants, each human race honored its relationship with nature. This honor was based on an equality of spirit, not a motive to exploit. I agree. I have never seen people pay homage to nature in such a way before. This irreverence is lacking in present-day humanity, not me. Who knows, perhaps one day you'll be able to teach others how to really connect with nature and learn to revere it. I don't even like throw plant away. I in a chuckle. Huh? That's unlikely. Would you be open to such a possibility? Maybe, but who would ever want to listen to me? Don't be negative, Trinaya admonishes me. What do you think all this is happening? You don't really think that this is meaningless, do you? Or that there is no purpose behind it? You are here for a reason, so you had better be open to it. Oh no, I mock. Not a lecture now. Seriously though, I really don't know how or why I'm here, or any reason why I'm involved in all this. To tell the story, so that also I will help to tell the story for you. Well, I'm pretty sure that you are going to have to make a commitment somewhere along the line. So I suggest you learn why. Experiences like this don't happen every day. On this point, we are in total agreement. As our silent dialogue comes to an end, actions begins. Once again, the sphere is filled with moving images, and I see our present era of humanity. Although I'm still frozen in a time lock, inside me I weep. I watch our early primitive beginnings as man snarl and fight over woman, weapons and food. I watch men hunting animals with ever-increasing efficiency, and never is there any feeling of remorse as the wild animals are ruthlessly and violently killed. Mm-hmm. All these abyss Anunnaki beasts, they follow their ancestors. I look so different from many here, so different that I still believe that I am from a very, very old civilization that has thrived here billions, if not maybe millions years here before. Hunt animals just for game, for fun, for trophy. How stupid is that? How stupid. Not even for survival, many of them do it. It's okay when you are poor, you need to eat, but others do it for pure joy, and it's like a trophy for the ego. You know, those animals represent the ego, their stupidity. It's okay when you do it for it. Maybe this guy here is do it for it, but others know they do it for fun, for fun. I like this guy. What's his name? Uh, Michael, because he's so sweet towards nature and his wife. He's a very wonderful husband. He and his wife is just like soulmates that have been here for many, many timelines before. I love to see how they love each other so much. So I watch our early primitive beginnings as man snarl and fight over human weapons and food. I watch men hunt animals with ever increasing efficiency, and never is there any feeling of remorse as the wild animals are ruthlessly and violently killed. As scene after scene unfolds, and I feel ashamed, I have to go down again. The cats are still fighting. As scenes unfolds, and I feel ashamed, it appears that humanity, although diminished in size, has retained the brutality and disregard for nature expressed by the earlier race of giants, Yanunics. They were the what they call it, Nephilims, the hybrids, all right? Trina, are you seeing this? A very subdued mental voice replies, yes. What do you think? I'm trying not to. Then, as humanity spreads over most of the planet, some develop into the worst types of predators, not only killing animals for food, but one another for gaining power. Find it stark and unavoidable. I'm compelled to watch. What I see sickens me, but over and over I'm getting very powerful impressions that I'm looking through the narrow window of my conditioning. And still some says, why don't go back to the early red race uh, ways of life? For what? No point, whether this one or the red race or these people here, this one here, this is giants look alike. There is no point. There is really no point because they kill animals. They do kill animals. They take animals for take ornament to make their jewelry or many other things. Like, okay, clothing, leather. Doesn't matter what ethnic group. Those are all hybrids. Those are all hybrids. So don't bring me this nonsense because these people are better. No, they are not better. They kill birds. They use poisoned arrows to shoot the monks. Up to now, as I speak, instead of growing cassava, how they call it, yucca, growing sweet potatoes, corn, fish. Why don't fish? Raise a chicken, go do something, sell your cassava, go sell your banana, whatever. Go and buy chicken. Invest in chicken for eggs. You don't need anything else. Unless you want to buy uh, grains. Yeah, because contain protein, a little amount of proteins. Okay, eggs together with lentils, with beans and rice. You already have all the amino acids and protein that you need. What more you want? Kill the animals. Especially the other idiots who kill for game, which is worse. Kill for fun. I really feel appalled. I really don't belong to these people. Call me Holt or whatever. Snob. Yeah, I'm snob because I don't want to belong to this series. I'm totally different. Totally different. Get that? How savage. Then, as humanity spread over most of the planet, some developed the worst type of predators, not only killing animals for food, but one another for gaining power. Find it stark and unavoidable. I'm compelled to watch. What I see sickens me, but over and over I'm getting very powerful impressions that I'm looking through the narrow window of my conditioning. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? I don't think there is any doubt about that. I can't help but realize that I'm seeing our history through my conditioning and my belief systems. I'm looking through the tinted glass of right and wrong, of good and bad, and what I see is a reflection of all my unrealized bias. Would you agree with me? I think you put it very well. I suggest we both try to view what we see with more openness. We need to be detached, unbiased, and without prejudice. No, that's not me. I don't like to be like that. Really. It shouldn't be like this. It wasn't like this. I still attest to the very long past, long time ago, when you didn't need to be so savage like that. Until that beast come in and bring all their nonsense with them and their people. I have been doing it all the time I watch. So, prejudice, that means prejudgment, of course. How many of us are capable of not prejudging? We judging before we even realize we are judging. I judge for a reason. I've been doing it all the time as I watch. I feel Trina smile. Well, you know the saying, forewarned is forearmed. Gradually, by being more open, I learn not to judge what I'm seeing, but to allow the images to impart a greater insight into life. I witness the impact and effect of individuality. I watch as our human consciousness becomes saturated in the concept and belief of separation. The previous early human races have experienced only one safe in nature in all people. No, no, the two previous ones, the pale-skinned one and the semi-ethereal one. Okay? Not the other. Start from this other already dense ones when the Anunnakis came here. During a pre-ice age, they already started to be hybrids and they start to kill. No, no, no. I don't believe. Not all of them. On the two previous races. I perceive now the previous earlier human races, the two previous earlier human races have experienced only one in nature and all people. I perceive now that while the giants had their active, a single accord brutality, they also had displayed no real individuality. With a vast surge of pity, I realized that they, more than any race, had experienced and epitomized the full thrust of separation. They had felt no connection with nature, not even with one another. The giants had undoubtedly held the potential to experience individuality, but that opportunity had been swept aside by their own implacable and unyielding nature. You see, many will judge individuality, but again, no point in you have collective consciousness to do evil, which become more powerful and more cruel. All right, no point in you have a hive mind, just do evil thing towards other people. So in this case, better for you to be alone, and do no harm. All right. I weep silently as I realize that they failed to overcome the isolation and fearfulness that separations bring with it. They were a race of victims, victims of their own inability to express love. They don't have love, they are Dracos. It's love that connects us with one another and with all life. Are you crying? Trinai asks me. Yes, I can't help it. I feel so sad for the giants. I realize now that they were not bad at all, but totally lost. All their incredible potential, their brilliancy, and even their humanity, all lost. He's a very sensitive guy. Without judgment, you are obviously seeing them very differently. Trinai observes. Yes, I sniff. I guess so. As I watch our present human race, I realized that although the potential for individuality was born in the era of the giants, is our present humanity that expresses it. I know that with the birth of individuality, the concept of separation crawled from the same bloody womb. By losing their connection with nature, the giants were isolated and overwhelmed, destroyed by the illusions of separation. With the birth of separation comes fear, and with fear comes desire, greed, and the resulting suffering. Because of our own subservience to separation, most of humanity no longer knows anything of oneness or of our connection with nature. Humanity no longer lives with a keen daily awareness of our spiritual continuity. We live with the fear of the ultimate lie of separation, death. I watch humanity split into many streams of expression. As spiritual individuality struggles for recognition, it is overwhelmed by ego/identity. And the power-seeking ego skillfully uses the tools of separation, boundaries, and division. By using separation to create different national identities, and by inventing religion to murder, subdue, and further divide, the oneness of humanity is splintered. In uh, this one, what they call? Ethnic groups. Yeah, ethnic groups of separates too as well. Because people are so focused on only color of skin, and they are in love with their own looks. Oneness of humanity is splintered, fractured, and alienated almost beyond recognition. Yeah. And by inventing religion to murder, subdue, and further divide, the oneness of humanity is splintered, fractured, and alienated almost beyond recognition. I see again the domination of the many by the few, and I see that with civilization and religion comes manipulation and the worship of power. I watch wars in famine, rape, persecution, and imprisonment. Where the people stay communal, more primitive, their bond for one another is much closer. Yeah, but it still doesn't remove evil. They still harm one another. These people still harm one another. They go to another tribes. They cut, chop off other tribes' head. They bury their children alive. They war are no better. So I wouldn't think this way. That tribal is bad. That primitive are the people who has no features. I mean the primitive, primordial, not primitive, the primordial. But the people who are savage are the people who has features, all right? So I watch wars and famine, rape, persecution, imprisonment. Where do people stay common now, more primitive? No, they were not bad. Their bond with one another is much closer. That is the primordial, not primitive. Primitive people know better. Only the development of tribalism do they follow the same path of separation and domination. Yeah, because they think my tribal is better. People have killed for tribe, just as they do for nationality and race. Okay, so among the civilized, I watch belief systems rise, determine the way of life for a few centuries, then collapse, to be replaced by new beliefs and dogma. And still one think that one's better than another. One think that they are the victim and the other violent when they are all in it together. Among the primitive people, spiritual stories and myth of the beginning are deeply impregnated into their consciousness, growing stronger with each passing generation. Still, no point. Talk about the primordial, not the primitive people. Still, they are savage. I see the dichotomy or dichotomy of a civilized people expressing barbaric and savage ideals, both in religion and society, while reaping a harvest of aggression from the land. Yet the primitive people, no, live in a comparatively peaceful life with simple spirit-based beliefs, communally sharing food that is harvested from nature without malice. They still kill animals. Only among the primitive people do I see a continuation of the reverency for nature. No, 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 no. They cut trees. They kill the monks. They kill the big cats there. All life form they kill. It's ironic, is it? I commented, the truest sense of the words, without saying that they also kill one another and eat their flesh. They were, and some still are cannibals, so they are no better, because they are all also, unfortunately, the primitive reptilians. Yeah, that's true. What can I say? It's the truest sense of the word, the primitive people. No, 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 are they civilized? No, no, they aren't civilized, they are savage as well. While our so called civilized society, the true primitive, same, no difference. Have you noticed that humanity has not taken to its collective races all the previously separated colors of the skin? Humanity has not taken to its collective race all the previous separated color of skin. Huh? Have you noticed that humanity has now taken into its collective races all the separate colors of the skin? Trinite says. We are all simultaneously expressing an aggression toward nature and paradoxically a love for nature, a inner node. We humans are so complex. Humans are no next. In my deepest self, I cringe at the rage and violence of humanity. And yet, I also see love, caring, incredible self-sacrifice, and the indomitable human will. Yeah, there's men, good men out there, men that don't think twice and save one another. hmm As I see this and all the pain, separation, and despair of a people isolated from nature, I also see a new dynamic of growth, transformation, and change. I see past the deceit of purely physical reality to the inner realms of spirit, in the trauma and horror of separation and fear gone mad, in an uncomprehending humanity, I see the movement of love and truth as dynamic forces in the growth of soul. I recognize a profound truth. Our deep despairs are also our unrealized triumphs. For it is then that the fabric of our potential ruins strengthen beneath the cocoon of our self-deception. From our despair, truth emerges. With this realization rings a bell of exaltation within me. Everything changes. The opaque sphere of images is suddenly blank, swiftly becoming clear and shimmering with light. Simultaneously with cataclysmic power, the water in the pressurized area is sucked upward, and before my dumbfounded eyes, the river is flowing uphill, and I can move. In this metaphysical reality, all life is once again in movement. That's all for now. So I'm glad it's explained about our more or less uh, scarring a bit to those who face our history, how it all started, and there is more to be found from the Akashic record and from a remote view without need to go and physically looking for it because it's almost impossible. The best way to find the truth is through go remote view and go back to the past and timelines and in the same line of time continuum which is still existing right now.